Okay, we're going to open Public Safety and Public Works Committee. I'm the chairman, chairperson, Commissioner Henry, and Mayor Pro Tem Turner, my co-chair, is available. Let it be known that we are looking for another citizen rep to be on this board. So be on that YouTube watching us. Remember that that's about 4 hours a month. That's all we need for you to have some input in the public safety and public works. We got meeting for minutes for December the 10th, 2025. We didn't have a meeting in January. So if we have consensus to approve the minutes.
I support it.
Okay. Next is report from public safety.
Good evening, Commissioner and Mayor Pro Tem. Director McGinnis is on his way, but I have some things in the meantime to start with. You'll see in the monthly report, our statistics and everything there, and if you have any questions, I'm happy to answer them on the fire and the code side. But what I wanted to speak about was the Shoreline Fire Collaborative. In January, we met with our neighboring fire departments and city managers, township supervisors. And we have been, for the past 6 years that I've been here, kind of fighting against some of the lack of progress in the Berrien County Fire Service. It was the reason 5 years ago we started our fire academy, and the reason we have been pushing to do a lot of the things we do. So we, along with Benton Township, the City of St. Joseph, Lake Township, Lincoln Township, and Benton Charter Township have formed what is called the Shoreline Fire Collaborative. And the whole purpose behind that is really twofold. It is for standard operating procedures and training. So when we're on a fire scene together, like this afternoon, we all operate off the same sheet of music. We're all trained identical. You can't tell the difference between whether it's a Benton Harbor firefighter, a Benton Township firefighter, a Lincoln Township firefighter, or any of the others. And the other piece to it is cost savings through using group purchasing, through using and just better use of our resources. For example, there's really no need for 3 ladder trucks in a 5 square mile area. So, it's just better use of our resources by all working together with our neighbors. So we've started that. It's very in its infancy stages. We actually have a meeting tomorrow to start talking policy. There's zero cost to the city. Matter of fact, there'll be a cost savings. And for example, on fire gear, if we buy fire gear in a group purchase, it's a $400 discount per set. So that's almost a 10% discount that we're getting just by group purchasing together at the same time. So I'm happy to answer any questions you may have about it. I'm happy to, we used it this afternoon in the 900 block of Ogden. We had a house fire. We had ourselves with 9 people there. We had the City of St. Joe with 5. We had Lincoln Township with 3, and we had Benton Charter Township with 2. So a typical house fire takes a minimum of 15 people to put out. We had 19 there based on the resources of us all working together.
Thank you, Brian. Can you answer the question, how do mutual aid work?
So mutual aid is exactly what it says, and I know that's kind of an odd answer, but it is mutual, right? So it's give and take. So last year, and don't quote me on these numbers because I don't have the annual report from last year in front of me, but it was 65 times one way we helped, and 60 times the other. So we received help. So what it is there's no community in this area that can do a house fire alone, can do a major incident alone. So we all share those resources. So when St. Joe has a fire, we go to St. Joe. When we have a fire, they were here this afternoon, and vice versa. So it's truly mutual. It is through a legal mutual aid agreement that every fire department in the county is part of. There is no cost to the community calling for the help unless the incident goes over 24 hours, and then there would be costs involved, and that would be reimbursement through like the state and federal governments, et cetera. So, we all help each other. And let me give you an example. This afternoon is a perfect example because we had 3 police officers on the road at the time. 2 of them were able to respond to the fire. The third one was not, was tied up on calls. Both of those police officers, once we got enough people there, had to go break from the fire scene to take additional police calls in the city. So once again, even with our own staffing, there is no way we could operate that way. So we all rely on one another. And these are the 5 partners we truly rely on. And it's because it's common mindset, it's common culture, it's, all the chiefs are on the same exact page.
That's all I have for you.
That's a good presentation. The chief came in. That's actually number 3 on the agenda, shoreline fire. Is there any questions from the audience on that presentation? Okay, great. I think it's, Chief, are you ready? Do you have a report for us today, Chief?
The report that went out, I said it, I came up there in a hurry, I can't.
This one, okay. I got to the front page, I'm good. Okay, then, let's go to the first item of discussion.
Okay. So just to be clear, you talking about the monthly report we do, or you talking about the information requested today?
The Axon body cam.
Right, okay, all right, thank you. So, you guys. So, I'm gonna do the best I can. I was running a little late. Just so you know, this is Alka-Seltzer in here. So, we've been sick this week. That's for Clark is. All right, so I'm standing in the gap for him. So, Axon data storage. So, what that is we are bringing this to, hopefully this will go to the full body for consideration. And what this is 2 things kind of at once. Us becoming more efficient as far as our data storage. That's everything digital. That's pictures, video, audio files, documents. And we already pay through Axon, which is our body camera supplier, already pay for the evidence storage. So right now we don't have, we got a pretty good deal, but we're going to be moving everything from the city server over to Axon, which will be a one-time cost to the city of $226. What that's going to save us is that for right now we're keeping all that data on the network at a cost of $1,000 alone just for data storage. So when we move this over and kind of pay that one-time fee, then we'll save $1,000 a month moving forward. So, you can estimate that at $12,000 over the course of the year. So it makes us more efficient, and it also helps us cut money, Mr. City Manager. So he's been honest about cutting money. So that's why we're doing that. And what's nice with Axon, there's so many features with that. So even citizens can forward files that can go directly into our body cam. Well, it's not so much the software, but what holds all that data. So then also we'll be able to share things better. It's more secured. It's not tamperable. And it's just a better solution for us where we're trying to be more efficient.
How many other departments are doing the same thing?
Well, we're Benton Harbor, so I'm not sure who was doing what. Remember, as far as Axon and body cameras, we were the first in the agency. We get upgrades first. Matter of fact, we have new body cameras downstairs ready to upgrade, so we have a cycle. So I want to say the state police was probably 3 to 4 years behind us on body cameras. Berrien County, maybe a couple years. So I can't actually, Commissioner, Mayor Pro Tem, speak to that. I just know that we do what we do because we're Ben Harbor.
Okay. Another good report. Do we have any comments or from the citizen? Questions, concerns? Great. Thank you, Chief.
Yeah. Yes, Commissioner. Moving on to, is it okay, move number two?
Yeah, go right on.
So number two is Public Safety Department, what's called computer-aided dispatch. If you guys can watch TV, you see the screens and the maps and dots. That's what we will be getting. So we're kind of excited about that for many reasons. One is it catches us up with, so the county has had it. Niles has had it. I think even Smackus, for some reasons, had it. But we haven't had that. So why is it important? For many reasons. One, we're sharing data live many times. I'm sure people in here, if you've ever called the police or called 911, you feel like they take you through a kabillion questions. That's a whole nother issue. So what we rely on the information to come to us via radio. And we are really beholden to that and that only, versus county can see it like right live right now. So it would help us, enable us to be able to see the comments as they come in, which gives us a better response, better information to that response. And more importantly, it helps with officer safety, because if by chance something happens, officer might, maybe get into a foot chase, get lost, or he's fighting with somebody, he will, or she will be tracked wherever that he or she goes. So he might not get a chance to be able to hit the emergency button on his radio. If we don't get any radio traffic, we know exactly where he is. Everyone in the cars can see where he is, and this is going to be township too, because we work together with them well. We'll be able to go to that. I'll give you an example, and I hate to bring this up, but back a couple years ago when the incident happened with Sergeant G and Kinsler, where if G would have been by himself or Kinsler didn't know where he was, we didn't know where he could have bled out, like literally. So this was pretty emotional for us. I had some voice raising in some public meetings, because I think when it comes to the safety of our guys, especially our guys, it's important to have every tool possible. So in addition, we can tell who's coming to respond. So there's many benefits to it. And the county, we talked the county into footing a major part of the bill. So our portion is going to be greatly reduced. It is going to be roughly $30,000, but we already have money earmarked coming in from the state from a grant already to cover that. So that will be a zero dollar from the city, which is important, obviously, because it's not cheap, clearly, but I think it's a safe thing to do. And since it's going to be really a zero cost to the city, I think it's good. And then every year that cost kind of goes down. It's always kind of the first year is usually higher, and then as years go on, the fee gradually goes down. So we're really excited about that. We'll be on with, again, Township, St. Joe, Coloma, and everyone will be able to see where each other is, even those coming to respond, and then we'll be able to see each other on the screen and get those comments right there. So here's another thing. I don't want to kick horse while it's down, but there'll be times where we don't get the same dispatch as other cities. So there's been times where, I'll give you a million examples, where officer respond, we should get what's called priority tones. If something serious has happened, we don't get those. And we've got out and guys have had guns that we were never told. But we look at the dispatch comments, they have been in there. Situations where they'll dispatch us to, somebody needs, go meet medic. We look in the comments, they're agonal breathing, bleeding from their mouth. That's serious. So that way we can see right there, and even if and they're doing better, I'll be fair. I'm not trying to beat up on dispatch, but it's better for us to be able to see that real time right now. What if that's you or your family or your daughter or your loved one? You want the best, fastest service you can get. So that's what we're hoping to achieve, Madam Chair.
How soon would this be implemented into the squad cars?
So the deadline is the 31st of May. So again, we're ahead of the curve because we were kind of one of the ones that helped push this, us with Coloma, pushing this thing. And it was a fight, boy, I'm going to tell you. They did not want to give that up, which is amazing considering, quite frankly, citizens pay the public safety millage for the county, right? Yeah, on top of marijuana money. Yeah, that was a reminder. So we able to get to the point where they were like, okay, we can help out, not just for Berrien County, but all the departments. So they are actually making it possible, not just us, but also the fire department. This will be for the fire department also, which is good. So
Just on the fire side, there is no cost on the fire side. The fire side's a little bit easier, and we'll actually have it first, just based on the implementation. We should have it within a month or two.
I'm not exactly sure to answer your question, Commissioner. Stuff moves slow. You know how bureaucracy is. I think it'll definitely be in 2026. I can't tell you exactly when. Sometime after May.
I will be watching.
Another good report. Another good report. Anytime that we can stay abreast of technology. Is there any conversation, any questions or concerns from the audience? Commissioner Isom wants to ask.
So overall, it'll be safety for the citizens of Ben Harbor, more response time.
Absolutely. So it's not just safety for the officers. The quicker we can get the information and get rolling, the better it is for the citizens.
For the city of Ben Harbor, I'm saying, yeah,
Absolutely.
definitely. And that's good. Safety is very important for the city, and we emphasize that. So appreciate what y'all doing, plus us cutting costs. You know, we getting starting with 30,000 is, if you got a grant, you said, so that is good. And so from year to year, the price goes down. See, that's what we're trying to do in the city of Ben Harbor. As personnel and finance, we're looking for ways to save money, cut costs, but at the same time, get the job done. Thank you so much, Chief, and
Thank you, Commissioner.
thank you, Madam Clerk.
Next on the agenda, number 4, discussion of updating ordinance for emergency snow route and parking in general and odd and even. So this is the discussion. Who's going to bring that to the light?
I can't find the document. I was actually going to show the ordinance. So right here, this is, and we've been working with Mr. Meeks, kind of discussion in the past, but we've been talking about this for 3 years at least. So one of the things, and today was a kind of confirmation. So we had a fire on Ogden. When I left, coming back, we had just talked on Superior, 900 block of Superior. You had, I don't know how many cars parked on the street. There's no way you can almost get the little truck I'm driving in to get past, a little less a plow truck, a trash truck, a fire truck, police truck. So one of the things we have been talking about is in our city ordinances, this is important. So our city ordinance, and I think it's chapter 41, I believe, chapter 41 speaks to snow emergencies and emergency snow routes. It does make a very, very short reference to what's called secondary streets. So if we were, the manager or his designees were to say, hey, this is emergency snow route, prohibiting parking on emergency snow routes, the declaration and the language in the ordinance does not include the secondary streets. So technically, if we make the declaration that we got severe snow coming and there's a prohibition from his office, the ordinance doesn't show it applies to the secondary streets. So, and as far as the emergency snow routes, those are our main arteries: Empire, Territorial, Main Street, Pipestone, etc. So the big problem, I think, is most people they live off on the quote unquote what the ordinance calls secondary streets. So these issues are addressed in our ordinance. However, it's very, very thin. So one of the things that we're proposing, and this right here is, it needs to go to legislative when if we get permission to move it on, is to one, include the secondary streets when the emergency declaration is made. Because right now, technically, we clean those 8 or 9 streets, we have met the ordinances. But if you're living on, Ogden, Superior, Baird, it becomes a mess. And I do have data, and I can make more so available in legislative, but I have the width of all the streets. So you look at Empire, it might be 46 to 49 feet wide. You turn on to like parts of Ogden or Superior, 21 feet, like literally half. So again, back to safety. Can we get a trash truck down there? Can we get a fire truck down? Matter of fact, I think was it this week?
Yeah, last Thursday on Jennings, we had a house fire and we had to go around the block because the road, we could not get the fire truck through.
Yeah. So, and I will say, my driving around, Public Works has done a great job with snow removal, but then Michi has been frustrated because there's certain streets that, like Superior, you can't even imagine or dream to get down. So, one thing is we need to add the secondary streets. The other thing we've talked about for at least since 22 is odd even parking. Now, odd even parking is in the ordinance. Again, it's a very light reference after secondary streets, and then it's not picked up again. So, our belief, and again, we're working with Mr. Meeks, is if we institute odd even parking in the city, now, to the point of one of our citizens today, I think certain streets should not be odd even, i.e. that 900 block of Superior and Pearl, they're just too narrow. They're just too narrow. So some streets will be exempt from that, will be maybe a prohibition totally from parking, which again is in the ordinance, but it doesn't apply to secondary streets. And then we can work to the point, if we agree and the commission agrees and we pass that, start the campaign for educating the citizens for odd even parking. We're saying at least 9 months to a year. We can't just pass it and then like tomorrow you on the wrong side of the street, so now we take it to you. That's not. It's been years. So we got to acclimate the citizens, help understand, and even outside of snow removal, in the summertime and spring when they're doing the street sweeper, odd even parking allows you to, one day you can totally clean one side. The next day you come back, you can totally snow remove or clean that side too. And if we get to the point where we work together as a community and we're kind of back and forth, then I think that might be more effective. Now, I'm totally open to input on that, and of course, he knows far more about that than I do. So his input is key. So that is what we are proposing. We like to keep that conversation going. And again, that goes right back to the safety of residents.
If I might add on that, it's important that we start to reactivate these existing ordinances and resolutions and upgrade them to fit our current circumstances. But the really important thing is for the commission to come together on how we handle these things, because enforcement is important. And when you get the kind of snows we've just begun to experience, enforcement may very well mean sending a tow truck to tow a car that's sitting on a street totally covered by snow, hasn't been moved in days, but it's blocking our way so that we can go ahead and clean the streets properly. I went out with Mr. Meeks during the recent snow, and we actually took pictures of many of the cars up and down the street that are just completely covered with snow. Nobody had made any effort to remove them. Then, in addition to that, we had piles of snow where people cleaning out driveways that piled it in the street. And then to add to that, trash cans, both sides, all the way up and down. I took a picture of the refuse truck trying to come down one of the streets near Bishop there. It just about couldn't get through the trash cans and the snow and stuff on both sides. So this is something we've all got to work together to try to implement, get the word out, make sure people understand that they've got to comply, and that if they don't, what the consequences will be, and that there's nobody to blame except themselves if it gets to the point where that has to occur.
Mr. Michi, you got something to say about this program? Not yet. Not yet? Well, I guess we're in the discussion of it, and it's got to be some more discussion. So you guys are going to be at the round table, and can we send it back through committee and you come back with more information, or?
So, Commissioner, like generally with something like this, like that we brought, it might be a committee for 5-6 weeks, just going back and forth, making sure it's right.
Gotcha.
There's no, we don't want to rush it and do it wrong.
Thank you. Commissioner Ethel Clark Griffin.
We're talking about no cars on the street. What happens in situations where people have no driveway? How do we address that? Some people have no choice but to park on the street because they don't have driveways.
So that's a good question. So there are a few houses that don't have driveways. Some have them on the alley. But think about it. If we go odd even, then they always have parking. It's just which side. So that could be a solution. And actually, I'm glad you bring that up, because as we talk about that, that could be a solution for those people.
And then even with the alley situation, if some of them can park in the alley, if the alley is up high and not shoveled, then they can't even park in the alley either.
Well, so that's out of my purview. I'm not sure how
Well,
alley.
Mr. Meeks, through the chair, can you answer that, or who needs to answer? City manager?
One thing about it, that's why I brought a crew in here today. I can talk loud enough. That's why I brought a crew in here.
She said push the city clerk.
Well, that's why I brought the crew in here today, is because everybody is expecting so much out of Public Works. We got 2 full-time guys that's not here right now. I got 1 part-time guy that's not here right now. These are the same guys that's working for your city, that's doing the snow removal and the trash removal all at the same time in bad storms, bad weather. It takes us time to get to alleys. It takes us a lot longer. You can't compare us to St. Joe, because St. Joe running 2 shifts. You can't compare us to the county, because the county got way more people than this. That's right there in the audience. Can't even fill up this room with the Public Works crew. And that's them right there, sitting right here. On this side, and one sitting on this side. That's the whole crew right there that do trash and snow removal. 2 of them, one is on vacation, one had another part-time job. So this is what you're looking at right here. And you expecting us to get everything done by a blink of an eye, and we cannot afford, we can't have it, because it's not Mr. Little's fault. It started way before Mr. Little got here, when they got rid of all the people.
Through the chair. Are you talking about me or you talking about people? Okay, because, I mean, you got the saying, don't expect this, do this and all that stuff, but you didn't answer my question about the, people, the alley, if it's not clear what do people supposed to do.
Well, we try to clear the alley as fast as possible.
And I know Public Work works hard. I know the workers work hard. I know, I'm with them 100%. So I know they work hard, and I know you can't do everything. So that's why I was like, are you talking to the people, what? Because I already know these. Okay, because I was asking the question. Thank you. Also, communication as far as the odds in the evening, cause You know, we got elderly people, we got disabled people, we got a lot of people that's not on the internet, a lot of people that not social, computer savvy. How would we get the information out to them? A lot of people don't even know the ordinance. A lot of people don't even know where to find it, And I know it's over, what, 100 and something ordinance, or is it more than that? So, yeah, so that's gonna be the problem. The communication, getting the communication out to everyone.
I'm glad you mentioned that. So looking ahead, we've already been working with our committee chairs on the signage. So that's why I said it'll be no less than 9 months. Really, we're talking about next year to get the information to people through all venues. And you're absolutely correct. We have several citizens that have been in their homes for decades. They're senior citizens. They might not be on Facebook, may not be on Instagram. We get that. We probably have to, I haven't talked to the manager yet, but consider the mailings, messages on water bill, in the newspaper. In many venues is possible because this is going to be a significant change for the people. And we're saying we're not going to rush into it. We're talking about winter of 27 at the earliest, just so people get used to it. And I think we should start like in the spring, fall, so people kind of get used to that. And then I believe once we have a successful information campaign, it'll be kind of second nature. And only thing that would go wrong is if people get turned around like I do sometimes and think it's the 12th and not the 11th. So one of the things is very important. We talked about this today at length of the importance of timing to get the word out so people can digest it, understand.
Okay, thank you.
And if I might, we think this is especially important given that we are seeing climate change and its effect. The snows we've had this winter are not the normal thing for Benton Harbor, and this could get worse. I mean, I'm hoping that the worst of it is over for this year, but that's no guarantee that it is. And certainly in the future, we could have more and worse. So it's important that we start now to get the word out, get people to understand why we're trying to do what we are. It's for their safety and the smooth operation of the city.
Hello, Mr. Duncan.
Hello. You guys want something to happen. These guys, they work all year round, and in the winter, when it's really bad, I don't really ever hear you guys talking about or even trying to help them get raises. But I want to make a suggestion. Yeah, it's a short crew, and I mean these guys, they work too. They don't be playing, and I've raised this concern before, but it's like when we come here, maybe things have changed a little bit now, but you got to make sure that they're taken care of. You make sure that everybody else get taken care of. They're supposed to be on the top of the list, the police and these guys right here. And if you can't take care of them, how you gonna take care of me, a senior citizen who got issues? Now, from the beginning, we had talked about trash cans left on the street. That's the only thing that I have anything, and I said it from the beginning, and you heard me say it, that it was going to eventually cause a problem. We got the street line. I got plenty of street line now because they cut my tree down. But back to you guys on the public works. You guys need to make sure that they're taken care of. And we're going to go to the bathroom down on the river while I'm here. There are no porta potties down there now. And I didn't check the bathroom to see if some kindness or something had happened to where we could have that bathroom open down there. I can ask through the chair, though, to find out maybe now if the bathroom is open. That would take a lot of stress off of me right now. Through the chair, would you ask the city manager if the bathroom is open down? Mickey Yarbrough, that was my friend. Is the bathroom open on his side of the river?
City manager, please.
I don't know the answer to that right now. I don't believe they are, but the porta potties should be there. And
There's
we'll
no
check into
porta
that.
potty there. Through the chair, and I'm finished, but there is no porta potty down there. And there are always cars there, and there's always somebody we got to go to the bathroom too. I'm done. Thank you.
I do want to say, just again, I want to reiterate, and of course, what I think is nothing, but for what I've seen this winter, for the streets that they could get to, have done an outstanding job. I thought they looked pristine. So, if nothing else, there are people that appreciate what you guys are doing. And I got some ideas on that other thing for y'all. Again, we're different departments, but we're one big army, y'all.
I mean, I do appreciate what Public Works have done, and I know I'm their worst critic. However, we don't have a winter operation plan, do we?
Not in place.
Okay. So I did email the city manager an operation plan draft. I'm hoping that he'll share it with you. And he told me publicly, I mean, not publicly, in the email, that we will work on it together. That's what he told us in the email. So with this being, will there be some type of flyer drafted where that we have emergency route, secondary route, and then our alleys?
Yes, it will be in this plan. Everything will happen, but the whole thing is about everything is you have to have enough people to do the plan you're trying to implement. If you don't have enough people, it's always going to be a fail in the plan. Right now, 4 of them guys over there is part-time. The other 4 is full-time. So you have to, this is what I have to deal with on a day-to-day basis, trying to figure out how to keep these guys here to work and have the streets open all day long. It doesn't work.
So another question I'm having, do Public Works or have what's called GIS system yet? With that on our cell phone, say for example, you're coming down Bishop at 6 in the morning, I know exactly, hey, they plowed. If we don't have to move our car, guess what? Public safety can ticket our car.
No, we don't have any systems like that set up.
Think we can get one? Like Gary and other cities, they have what's called GIS, it's Geographical Information System.
Well, I'm gonna not be, we could get it down the line, but the first thing we need to get is more equipment and more people. And that's gonna cost the city a lot of money. So once we get this situation and get the city Public Works back up in higher standards, we could get anything the citizens want and commission.
Are you willing to help us to understand, when you say more equipment, I'm willing to help you find equipment, but are you willing to help us to identify what equipment you need with your guys?
That's a day-to-day operation with me. Try to figure out what kind of equipment we need. And it's a day-to-day thing about, for one, I don't want to go back when we started with the garbage. You brought me some old trucks, and you wanted me to get garbage up, and I can't keep them trucks running. So now I'm steady fighting every day to try to get newer trucks.
Mr. Manager, can you answer that question? When he says trucks, do we have enterprise that can go there and get him new trucks so that he can perform better?
We're looking right now at alternative means to come up with a truck as soon as possible because we know one of them's just about out. But the problem is the same with equipment as it is with manpower, and that is the money to get it. Now, I have indicated to Treasury, as we've been talking about our cash flow and what our situation is, that in addition to doing what we have to do to balance our cash flow, we also have to get a new refuse truck. So we're doing that. We're looking for that. But our problem, as Mr. Meeks indicated, and I'm sure everybody who's been involved with it would understand, it goes back to where the emergency manager stripped out a lot of the equipment that we had, a lot of the experience that we had, and then reduced the salaries and so forth to the point where it's tough to be competitive. And unfortunately, it's not as simple. If we had enough money, we just raise them back up. But we don't have. We're struggling to do with what we got.
I have a question too. Are we able to move the 4 part-timers to full-time?
We've got a certain number of slots for full-time and a certain number for part-time. We'll go over that and see where we are.
So would that help you if we move those 4 part-timers to full-timers for temporarily until we can start making something work for you?
Well, one thing about it, I need more CDL drivers. A lot of these guys over here are just regular driver license. The CDL drivers are the ones I'm having problems keeping, and the problem is competitive wages. Everywhere they go, every time they get ones hired, get them halfway trained, they're gone because they make $5, $6 more an hour somewhere else.
And as a matter of fact, in the last couple of weeks or so, across the street, they've lost 5 drivers because Palisades is paying more and they're hiring people away from us.
Is there a plan, manager, to eventually raise their wages for them?
There is, once we can also raise our revenue, and that we've got to try to do.
Okay, thank you.
Can I ask a question? You guys partnering up with all of these other municipalities. Township is right here, and they have a lot of equipment. Why don't we partner up with them? Is it a problem with Ben Harbor and the township when it might come to something like that? Would it be a problem asking for some assistance? Through the chair. That's my question. Thank you.
It's certainly not a problem to ask, and over time, I think we will get to where we'll start to doing some things like what they're doing with fire. But it's got to be something that's fair to everybody involved. I don't think we could expect, whether it's township or anybody, to just say, okay, here's our equipment, take and use it a third of the time, but you don't have any money to pay for it or whatever. They have maintenance and operation costs and so forth too. We have just got to get to where we can increase our revenue enough to be able to do the things that we need to get done.
I have one city, St. Joe. Every time we have a garbage truck to go down, I end up borrowing St. Joe's garbage truck, and we having it for 2 to 3 weeks, maybe a month. That's the only city as right now that would let us borrow anything when it comes to when we have a garbage truck that's broke down.
So if we get you a new one, that'll help y'all out. If we can get one, if the manager can help out with enterprise and so forth, would they help out?
That'll help out on the garbage end because we still gonna have to keep one of the older trucks before we can have it for a bag-up truck because everything breaks down.
On a garbage truck, are the guys paid hazmat? Because you're dealing with all kind of stuff. In other communities, we are paying hazmat. Like I have CDLs, I get paid hazmat. So if they're picking up trash, are they getting paid hazmat?
That's something we have to talk with HR about. I'd have to talk with them about that. Right now, I don't know that answer.
All right, thank you.
Commissioner.
If I recall, the last negotiation, we decided to raise the CDL pay. So I don't recall what we raised it to, but if I am mistaken, it was raised. Also, if with this weather, especially as bad as it's been, and we don't have what we need as far as workers and as far as equipment, I would say that the people's safety is deemed an emergency. If we're using income tax fund for emergency for everything else, wouldn't that be deemed an emergency? And maybe we would need to check into using some income tax fund for that. Because we need the workers, we need equipment to keep up with what's going on, because this has been a awful winter. And so I think let's check into that. And I know there, if I'm not mistaken, their union negotiation is coming up. So that's something we need to be thinking about and talking about. Thank you.
I have another question. So when we ride down the streets, there are cars who are blocking both sides of the roads. For example, 1200 block of Pavone. Is that one of your issues too? Because I know that's a dead end where the truck can't get their speed of 35 miles an hour. What can be done about that?
Well, we usually use regular pickups on that end, the 1200 block of Pavone. But where we have the problems at is like when you have going down Jennings, we have some up here on High Street, Lincoln, cars just blocking, they parking side by side, and you can't get a truck through them. It's all over the city in certain areas, but I mean, we can sit here and name all the streets, but the problem is that we have to get our residents to apply about moving their cars. And half of the places where we got, everybody have a driveway.
All right, so if we can get the residents to comply, my only ask is that we move that snow back to those curves.
We having a problem right now. We got cars right now that have moved cars out of them and they parking around the piles. So we can't even get to the piles.
Thank you.
So what he's talking about is the essence of what I talked about with the parking piece, because the snow emergency doesn't apply to the side streets. And he just named all side streets. So that there's nothing that says that they really have to. And that's what we got to fix. And we can coordinate better with him to be able to tow them up, because the ordinance is clear. It says if you're blocking, we can yank it. We've been given a little bit more grace probably than the ordinance allows, but that's part of his problem. So he's trying to do that as well as kind of contact us, and we're running around. So we'll try to assist him to do better on our end to help yank those. But this is speaking to the very problem that I talked about in this item.
And that's the reason we all have to be together on what we go forward with as a solution. Because typically what happens, they have a car towed, it gets to the towing lot, and next commission meeting, you got people here complaining that they're running up a big bill on me so much every day that my car is there and I don't have the money to get it. And you know, we can't have all of it. We've got to come to terms and make decisions and take a course of action.
So my question to you, Mr. Manager, is it fair that we table this agenda item to next month as an old discussion, that we continue to be positive and open to all recommendation from public safety, public works employees, as well as the residents on social media?
Absolutely.
Duly noted, Madam Clerk.
But I think what public safety would like to do is first move it to legislative and then back to public safety. So it bounces through both of those committees.
But we also going to open it to the public as well for their consideration, correct?
Yeah, the public is always welcome to put in their considerations.
Okay, and I will make sure public works staff is heard too.
Chair?
All right. This is good. I have some housekeeping thoughts. Mr. Michi, do you have an inventory of your equipment?
Yes.
Is that including vehicles?
That's including everything.
Good. I thought I was being innovative and asking for an inventory, and you already have it. So I can guess you can share it with us. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Discussion of requirement of liability insurance for rental properties and requirements of registration for vacant properties.
Thank you, Commissioner. I think I'll try to be short with this one. So we brought this, I think the last time we discussed this was May 3rd of 23, I believe it was. We brought this, but didn't really seem to get any traction at the time, the 2 or 3 times we tried to bring it. And here's the rationale. So what we're discussing is a proposal to require landlords, not homeowners, landlords who own property, to 2 things. One, that we require them when they register that they have to have proof of liability insurance. The huge problem that we have with all these burnouts you see in the city is because landlords, the houses catch on fire, landlords will walk away from them. There's no requirement, there's no insurance claim to at least get the money to raise that structure. So I think we would all agree Ben Arbor has been plagued with those burnouts for a long time. Mr. Little was able to get rid of a handful, but that was a very small percentage compared to what there is. So what we would like to have, again, this is for discussion and ultimately the will of the body, is to get back and hopefully get some traction to that discussion. Just to never really send anyone anywhere before, because we are still having issues with people owning houses, renting them to Ben Arbor people, and if something happens, they just walk away from them. So here's the thing. Say you rent a house, you have a house catch on fire, whatever reason. I'm not going to kind of, throw any shade. But then you lose half or everything, and the darn owner just walks away. That's not cool at all. And then it sits there for 5, 6, 7, 10 years, and then it brings down the value of your neighborhood, et cetera, et cetera. So we're trying to have forethought to help clean up our neighborhoods and to prevent the issue from happening. And, is it a big ask? Perhaps. I don't know. Is it the right thing to do? I think definitely. Is it feasible? Is that the will of the commission? We bring in information, we vet it, talk about it, talk to the boss. Michi gets input on that also and see where we go. We think it would be beneficial. Additionally, we had a discussion earlier, and I'll let him talk to that as far as businesses, the street G&Gs. That is a mess. So not just landlords that own property in the city, but also business owners. I'll let you speak to that.
Correct. So we have about 175 registered businesses. Now, there's more commercial properties, but remember, businesses may own multiple. And we have about 2,030 rental properties in the city. Once again, remember, like Harbor Towers has, 80 of them. River Terrace, there's 100 and some in there. But there's that in the city. So G&G's is a perfect example. 861 buses stood burned up since it was, the fire in September of 2024. It's now owned by the county through tax sale because they walked away from it. And if you look at the majority of the ones Mr. Little cleaned up, it was the same thing. People walked away from burned out rentals. And we have a couple problems in the city. We have to be stricter with these landlords. We have some very good landlords, but we have some landlords that take advantage of our residents. And this is a quality of life issue is what this comes down to, is quality of life. So that's where this comes from. The other thing, and I want to clarify this because people always say, well, Benton Harbor, you have an arson problem. We do not have an arson problem. We have very few arsons in Benton Harbor. We have an electrical problem in Benton Harbor. And what I mean by that is we have knob and tube wiring tied to new wiring that causes fires. We had a fire on the north side a week ago, electrical. Preliminarily, the fire today, probably electrical from what we're seeing. So, you know, when you see, yeah, Benton Harbor has an astronomical amount of fires compared to everybody else, we do. But it's because of, once again, the quality of life issue. So if all of this stems back to quality of life, then it's good for our residents. And I think that's the way to look at this. The last thing with this is when there is insurance, the city gets about $17,000 to hold on to until that property is tore down. So there's incentive for the resident to tear down the property or fix it because there's a check waiting for them at the end. So the city, that is required by Michigan state law, that the insurance must withhold money until it is in proper repair. And I think we only have like one hanging out there that hasn't been fixed appropriately. We have some in process. So obviously, people want their money. So it's going to cause people to clean up. So hopefully that answers the question.
And if I might add to that, because it's a very complicated and complex kind of problem. You've got a number of things taking place. I recall that we put that ordinance in effect many years ago requiring that insurance companies withhold $15,000 of an insurance claim until the property has been either repaired or demolished. $15,000 now doesn't do anything. These units that we had demolished ran from $35,000 up to $100,000. That number is out of date. There needs to be an absolute requirement and an enforceable requirement that they have insurance, and we need to try and move that withholding amount up to somewhere closer to $35,000 or $40,000 in order for it to really do some good. Or else we'll still be sitting and having to try to dig up money to pay to demolish them. Now, one of the other things that goes along with that on the business side is that many of these people set up LLCs, sometimes for every property they own. And as soon as as a matter of fact, the one that we still got sitting up there is a mess, if you look at the history on it, that property had not paid taxes for at least 2.5 years. And then suddenly, about the time it's going up for foreclosure, they walk away from it. No insurance, no redress, because the LLC, they just disappear. And the people behind it go out and open up another operation somewhere else and just keep right on rolling. That falls back on us, just like that pile of what's left after the fire up here off of Fair Avenue.
Thank you. So I did some research. There's only 2 in the whole state of Michigan that has this here. For 3 years, Benton Harbor did nothing. Just been in committee, failed. I don't know why, but not this day. So the purpose of this ordinance is to help protect the health, safety, and welfare of the public by preventing blight, protecting properties, values, and neighborhood integrity, avoiding the creation of nuisance, and ensuring the safety and sanitation maintenance of dwellings, commercial buildings, and industrial buildings. Further, it is important for the city of Benton Harbor to be able to contact homeowners, vacancies, abandonment structures for property maintenance, fire safety, and police purposes. Do you agree with that, Mr. Manager?
With some additional concerns, yes.
Thank you, sir. So I'm also asked that right now it's saying liability insurance. I think we need to change the name to vacant and abandoned property registration, whether it would include the purpose, definition, registration form, requirements, information, inspections that need to be done once a year, security requirements, reoccupancy, penalty, and also include the liability insurance, as other communities have in their ordinances.
So are you saying, just so I'm clear, because you just ran through a lot, combining, I got to kind of have this as 2 different things, combining into one. You're saying the vacant property registration and, am I hearing you correctly? I just want to make sure I'm hearing you correctly.
Yep, correct. Because that's how other communities have. There's one, which is, I'm going to name the 2 communities. It's Grosse Park, Michigan, and Highland Park, Michigan. Because if you look at MCL 500.2117, home insurance and underwriting, it is required in Michigan. However, Michigan does not require the liability insurance. However, state lawmakers and the federal lawmakers said that it is up to the municipalities to set their ordinances. So I think we are within the legal realm of setting these ordinances and moving it forward.
So that's wordplay. So I would definitely be interested to get that, because if we call it one thing, it doesn't exist or doesn't apply. But if we call it this, it's exactly what we want. So this is the dialogue that I appreciate. So if I can get that information from you, Commissioner, I'd be grateful.
I'll forward it to you.
Commissioner, thanks for reading that. And something I'm just thinking here and thinking out loud is on these vacants, when we, especially the burned out vacants, we put a higher fee on those, then that will help encourage these landlords to get these cleaned up. Because unfortunately, it's the same problem we have, or the same people we have problems with over and over in a lot of cases.
So, Mr. Manager, question for you. With the lots next door to individuals, can they purchase that lot so that can be off of us to end this here?
No, sir, because we're holding those lots to start building on, and we'll have a program rolled out very shortly that will address all of that.
My last question is, how many homes did CDBG tear down last year?
10 and 5 were torn down by another $170,000 that came from Brownfield. And the total cost of those ran $510,000. The cost for demolition is way up there, and largely because of new legislative requirements associated with environmental cleanup. You've got to go in and do an assessment of whether there's asbestos, whether there's lead. If there is, you've got to abate it. If you don't abate the lead and asbestos first, then the entire demolition has to go to a special class landfill for handling that. That's what happened with the first couple of times that we tried to go out for bid. They were not experienced demolition contractors at bid, and without taking those steps to remove that, they had to go to a Class 3 landfill where the price was going to be way up. So our bids came in, the lowest was $50,000.
With those bids or those contractors, do we have access to them now moving forward?
We have access to them if we have the money. I'm making a request to ask our representative to try to see if we can get some money allocated from the legislature to allow us to clean up some of these buildings and so forth, because we just don't have the means to do it ourselves. That one we're talking about up there off of Fair, I could just about assure you that's going to cost probably $65,000, $70,000 to clean it up or more.
Thank you.
Can I make one more point on the GG situation? So one of the things that many people may not know is not only does this affect the blight of the area, but that fire caused damage to 2 adjacent houses, and they've been fighting to get their situation taken care of. Because there's no insurance, they can't subrogate the insurance of the owner of the building, and I really believe they've been spinning their wheels. They are so frustrated. So a person who, for whatever reason that fire happened, but the houses got damaged, and citizens are struggling to get their houses fixed who had insurance themselves. So I don't know all the particulars, but I do know for a fact 2 of those residents over there they've gotten the report from us multiple times, which tells me they're going in circles. It's just not fair. So,
Commissioner,
And if I might just add to it so that we really understand the nature of the problem. A lot of this comes from the fact that many of these units that are owned by people and rented out come through the tax foreclosure process. people who build their homes and go and get a mortgage and they're got a lot of money tied up in their house, hundreds of thousands of dollars. They're not going to have that house sitting there without insurance and not taking care of it. But when somebody gets a property off of a tax sale that maybe they pay $500, $800, $1,200 for, and immediately start renting it for all they can get, something happens to it, they're not going to, just like you wouldn't build the house in the first place, they're not going to spend that big money to put it back up. That's why they walk away from it. You wouldn't walk away from the house that you live in, that you paying a mortgage on has a significant value, and that you try to protect it.
I just wanted to add one thing as we kind of wrap this up, is go back to the residents on Bus, that their house was damaged by G&G. Now they're out money. That's a quality of life issue. So once again, it's affecting our residents. The people that own that building didn't live in the city. They didn't, they took advantage of our people, if you want to say that. The other one to say is we have to start a campaign to educate our residents on the importance of rental insurance, because every one of these renters lose their property when they don't have rental insurance. So even if the property is insured, the renter needs insurance. It's very inexpensive. I live in an apartment building. I think I pay $20 a month in rental insurance. So that's something else we have to, once again, if you lose everything, that impacts your quality of life.
So, quick question on that nature right there. How many properties, I know you said we was in rental inspection properties. How many have been done correctly?
Can you expound? Because that's
So
I could go a couple different ways.
All the apartment complexes have been harbored. Have they been in compliance?
Apartment complexes are very good for the most part. We have a great relationship with Benton Harbor Housing, Continental Management, who does River Terrace, Harbor Bluff, Emma Hall Flats, those. It's not the apartment complexes that we have issues with. The issues are the single rentals on the street, in the neighborhoods. Those are the places we have issues with. The downtown rentals, the Harbor Bluff, all those others, we don't have issues there, not rental-wise. I mean, there may be other issues at times, but if you're a big company and you own an apartment building, very seldom is there a problem. It's the onesies and the twosies for the most part. There's a couple off ones with that, and we've had some problems recently at Fidelity and Thorogood that we're working through. But other than those, the majority of the problems are in single houses that have either been converted to rentals.
And are we going to address them or no?
Well, we address them. It's a constant fight, though. I mean, and I'm not trying to sound like we're making excuses, but it's like herding cats some days. I mean, we have a couple very bad landlords in town that own a lot of these properties. So it's at a point we need to strengthen that, and I kind of said this earlier, we need to strengthen that ordinance so that these bad landlords, there's some type of recourse against them. Now, and when I say that, there's by far a lot better, there's a lot more of the good ones than there are the bad ones, but there are some bad ones.
Mr. Manager, do you agree with that?
I certainly do, and if I could add to that, I think the only way we're going to fix these issues is for all of us to band together to make sure that as we do this enforcement, when the people come to you and they come to commission meeting and start giving their excuses and whatnot, we've got to just back up on them and say, I'm sorry, but you got to deal with it. Because I think about a week ago, I sent you an email regarding a house that just went up for sale. House been completely remodeled, no permits, no inspections. We had a similar situation about a year ago down here on, I forgot what street now, but the only way you're going to get it inspected and get right is they got to open the walls back up. That costs a lot of money, but that's the only thing that's going to stop people from doing that. They know they need permits. They know they need to have it inspected. And when they don't, the situation is ripe for somebody to get in a house where wires have been connected to knob and tube wiring. Next thing you know, it's burning. And like you said, the renters, they lose everything.
So when we talk about banding together, last year, public safety, y'all did a great job advertising the stickers and all that. When it comes down to building and so forth, I know it's a lot of work. Could there be education put on y'all page showing what they need when they're doing permits, so forth, so forth?
Yeah, and we put that out last year. I'm happy to put it out again. I think it's constant education, right? The problem is, once again, there's a couple bad people that will try everything they can to save a buck and not get the permit. But once again, it affects our residents. They're not our residents doing that. Very seldom do we find that. And if we do, they don't get charged double the fee. But if you're a contractor doing it, you automatically get charged double the fee, because you should know better.
Thank you.
Commissioner, that concludes our 4 items. 5 items? 5.
Okay, so I see some of the items are going to be discussed in other committees. 4 and 5. And, one and 2 have more discussion.
Shoreline was just educational at this point because we're still working on it.
Okay.
I guess I would add with the shoreline, we do have your support to move forward, though, working through it.
Oh, yeah, for sure. We need more information, and it's sounding so great. And keep using the word that I've been trying to get them to use group purchasing. Back in the day, it was sharing. Now we're doing group purchasing, so I'm very glad, and I'm finding that we might have a whole lot of other things that we can group purchase with. So I thank you guys for going down that avenue.
Does one go to commission, or where are we at with that? What are we asking?
The body cam service?
1 and 2, one
No, 2.
and 2 going full body. Oh, yeah. And then 3 is a collaboration. It's education only. And then 4 and 5 is going to another committee for discussion, and then back to this committee.
Sounds good.
Duly noted, Madam Clerk. Thank you.
Is there any comment, any concern from anyone in the audience?
I had a quick thing. I know last year several times public safety stated that I think we had about 200 businesses and only about 90 of them or less was registered and paying their taxes. Is that correct? Did I hear right?
I'm not sure the exact number where that is now, but when he took over, we went out and did a kind of major push, and we did find several businesses, and that data we did turn over to income tax. I don't recall specifically what exactly that she had at the time versus what we had. And we did also find a number of like home businesses that actually were registered. So that is, I guess I have ignorance. I don't know where that stands now, but I do believe that we end up finding more businesses than were actually on the record at the time.
Yes, the last list I turned over was in November, or December, and that had the 175-ish, and then the 2,030 rentals.
Okay. And has it been, it's more of them paying now? Has that better? Is it worse?
Well, that's a good question. So what, the 2,000 rentals, because that's income tax too. So I'll let Kaz,
So Commissioner, on my end, all those people have paid their rental registration, their business registration.
Okay.
Once I turn it over to income tax, I have no idea where that stands. So that's not in our, in public safety, so I have no way to know that.
So if they're not, the business is not registered, then they're not paying into the income tax, right? Exactly. And I know it's more residents paying than businesses. Another thing I wanted to know, who's responsible to make sure that that happens, that the businesses are registered, that we know, or to go after them if they're not registered?
So once again, registration is code. That's no issue. And, you know, we find some every week that aren't, and we charge them and we get them paid. But as far as the income tax piece of that, that would be the income tax. She does HR and income tax. I'll turn that over to Mr. Little.
And there's one part of this that I can't miss helping an understanding of. When we talk about 175 businesses in a city this size city ought to have 3,000 businesses easily. But when we have such a small number of businesses and you're hearing the numbers, 2/3 of our residences are rental properties, which means that you're not getting the kind of, that's why our financial situation is as it is. Even if we get all that is there, we still have a problem.
So my point is, no matter how, is it 2/3 or however many, whoever they are, and if they have businesses, they should be doing their fair share. They still be, and my question was still again, what city staff is responsible for that? The income tax as well.
The income tax is Miss Lisa. She handles income tax. There's nobody else involved in it.
Lisa who?
Holiday, yes.
Oh, okay, thank you.
I want to just say, my name is Charlene Duncan. I'm not no kin to him. Okay, I'm not trying to be funny. No, I'm not trying to be funny. Hold on, y'all. Give me a break. Give me a break. I'm not really trying to be funny. He is my friend, though. Okay, he is one of my friends. But I'm the one that lives 790 Columbus. Mary Louise Cummings was my mother. She died in 2008 and left me that house. So it's an eyesore. And I'm one of the ones that got lucky, like y'all say. It came back here and it was in foreclosure because my brother did that. But I'm out of that. And I've made it to the Magic Dragon again. But not yesterday. They put the red stickers on the front and the back door. They say if I take it off, it's $500 a piece. I ain't got $1,000 to give nobody. I talked to the man today that did that, and I got to talk to somebody else. Now, my question is, when I came before this, my taxes are not behind. I'm not behind in my water. Okay. I'm willing to do whatever's necessary because I have started. But like you say, when they come in your house saying asbestos and lead, see, I don't know nothing about that. I mean, they showed me some stuff, but what wall I'm supposed to take out, I couldn't tell you. So I'm still waiting, like I've been waiting for them to come because they told me they're going to put me in a hotel. I was supposed to get some pasta. I'm boxing stuff up. I got stuff boxed up so high it's about to drive me crazy. They told me to put it in boxes and get it together. They ain't came yet. Am I still on the list? Or did they forget me? Because as it stands right now with the red sticker, I know I see this man. He's going to give me the code. I know that's about that tarp. I didn't put so many of them up there, Lord. This last one broke me. Them peoples came from Detroit. They charged me $550 to put it up there while I was waited too long for them to come and say whether or not they was going to do something for me. But I waited, but I still had to do it. So now I got to call them back and they can tear that mess down. I'm going to have to put something else back up there. I guess I'm going to have to wait again. Can y'all please try to help me? I mean, whatever it takes, if I got to, come on with it, holler at me, because I know this was a bad winter. You got to tell me. Oh, Jesus.
Mr. Chairman,
72 years old.
if
City
if I
manager.
might get your name and
Yes.
contact information after this
Yes.
meeting,
Yes.
there's a program that may be able to help you.
Okay, they said the Vincent's building is a long list. Okay, I went through that
Fire
one
marshal.
too. I signed up for everything, the windows, the furnace, the roof, the side, everything under the sun, because when I came back here, I said, Lord, have mercy. I told God it was a hot hootie, but he said keep it up. I'm doing my best because this was my mother's house. She told me not to give it up. My brother didn't care.
The fire marshal gonna respond to you, okay?
Thank you.
Ma'am, I'm aware of your situation. I know you spoke with Inspector Luker today.
Yes.
I want to ensure you we have compassion. We will work with you as long as you're working with us.
Thank you.
The reason the sticker was put on the house is because the roof has a major hole in it, and there's water getting into the electrical
You
system.
think I don't know?
So that's the reason the sticker was. It's your house. We cannot force you to leave. However, we do that as a liability for the city because we know it's been deemed a hazard.
Okay.
With that being said, I do think you got taken advantage of by somebody that came and claimed they did some work for you, and they obviously did not. So
I've been getting that done.
I have some total compassion. We will work with you on the code end as much as we possibly can.
Thank you.
And I think Mr. Little has some other resources he has as well. So whatever we can do to help, like I said, this is quality of life. We want to improve everybody for everything within our means.
Can you give your information to the city clerk right here? Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Man, is there any other public comment?
I pay taxes. It really disappointed me when you had a meeting and you all said that you were not gonna pay these gentlemen. Who are you not to pay these gentlemen because of somebody else's mistake with the money or messed up money? You just got in here. They got family. They need money just like you do. Porta potties need to be out. They've been out since I was a little girl, since you was a little boy. You here for us, okay? Remember that. It's a disgrace the thing that's going on. Don't hug this woman. Don't get this woman's name and then don't do nothing. You wasting time. If I was y'all, if somebody else could pay me good, I would leave here. All this up and down stuff, we don't have time for them. Bills is bills. Your bill's not gonna stop. Thank you.
There any other public comments? Please, sir, step up to the mic.
Good evening. My name is Floyd, and just so y'all know, Public Works, but there's one other thing that ain't nobody mentioned. You know there's only 2 people that run the sewer department? I'm one of them. I ain't gonna say run it, but you know what I mean. 2 people. So it's a money issue for sure. A lot of us was gonna walk away. But see, sometimes it ain't about the money. I love Ben Harbor. I was born and raised here. But it's a problem. I help out with the garbage if I got to. I plow the roads. Get done plowing the roads, I'm in the sewer truck. The money is the issue in a way that I don't know. Excuse me for laughing. I don't know how y'all handle the money, but somebody messing up. And what's gonna happen? 3 or 4 people walk out. Ben Harbor it's gonna be bad. All it takes is 3. Technically 2. But 3, meet you doing the best you can with what you got. The garbage truck break down, he gonna try to work on do what he gotta do. Dump truck break down, he gonna do what he got to do. It's only a small handful of us. And my voice cracking right now because I'm getting mad. I ain't gonna lie. This is my first time even up even seeing some of y'all. I'm getting mad, and I'm gonna tell you why. However, the funds being passed around or whatever is making us look stupid. It's hurting our household. Our household. You know, I've been working for the city for 10 years. I started off in the water department. And apparently, this ain't throwing no shade towards nobody. The city is so broke, it ain't Ben Harbor Water Department. It's F&V. They offered to hire me $4 more than when I work right now. Because that's where I came from, water department. I'm still here, Public Works. So my job title is Public Works / Sewer Department. There's so many other CDL jobs is hiring. 25, 30 hour, just for a little bit I know. And I'm a mechanic too. But I'm finna get out of here. Long story short, Meechie is the best supervisor that anybody can have, all right? These the garbage guys. No offense, I mean, the money is the problem. The money is the problem because if they walk out, I'm gonna be on the back of their garbage truck. And if we have 5 feet of snow, and it just happened, somebody trash ain't finna get picked up. Then it's gonna be half of Ben Harbor here tomorrow. Why the garbage out there? You know, moving the vehicles and all that, that's definitely a problem too. But that's way above my pay grade. That's the man right there. But he doing the best with what he got. But y'all gotta come on with some more financial stability because I'm gonna tell you, I love my job, but I like to eat steak too. I don't like hot dogs and ramen noodles. I'm just saying, we the heart of Ben Harbor, so y'all please help us out. Let's help each other out. But I'm gonna tell you though, we ain't gonna wait too much longer. I know I can't. Appreciate y'all time.
Thank you for speaking out. Anybody else want to make a public comment? I want everyone to know that we appreciate you sitting here listening to what our plans are, and you're really giving us some problems to solve. And that's what we're going to go back to the drawing board and see if we can solve some of these problems. And yes, sir, please step up. You sit there all that time and didn't say nothing, but now you got to. Come on with it, because I know you got to say it.
I was waiting to shine, but I ain't gonna shine too hard. But yeah.
And I see you working every day.
I gotta work 3 of them because of y'all. But yeah, my name is Bruce. I work for Ben Harbor City down there. All I want to say is we work pretty hard, real hard. And it's only like 3 trash throwers. So if y'all lose us, who's gonna throw the trash? I'm saying, like, I hear every day, I be at St. Joe, wherever. They getting paid $28. I look at it, we still getting $15. I ain't no kid. We ain't no kid. We grown man. $15 taking care of kids ain't enough. All I'm saying is, like, do for us what we do for y'all. That's all I gotta say.
I want to say this too. Now, when I first got here, I didn't know y'all was only making this little change. Lord, have mercy, Jesus. But I used to give y'all juices every Tuesday because I appreciated you picking up the trash, and I don't have a can full. God have mercy. We got to do something, y'all. We got to do something. Because my can don't never get full, but they be pulling some that, hey, it got bodies in them, and I know it. Y'all, I appreciate y'all. I might have to get back to trying to get you some arms. For years I did it. I stopped because of the situation I'm in now. But now I understand y'all ain't too much better because $15 and y'all got kids. Y'all in trouble. Ain't no food stamps given away.
That's a whole lot of work. Y'all doing a whole lot of work. $15? I would be gone.
All right.
I would be gone.
All right.
TV and say, what the money?
We're going
Talking about the money.
Point of order, point of order, point of order. We gonna let our brothers know who they are to us, and we appreciate you. So we're going to the table again, and we're gonna talk about you. And thank you for coming, and thank for anyone else that came tonight. We're gonna call this meeting to order to adjournment right now, and thank you.
Motion to adjourn.